Hello and welcome to the first episode of Leithal Live. I am Leithal, of course. This is my very first solo podcast and I'm so excited to be doing this every fortnight. So we'll be going live on Twitch and then if you miss it, that's okay. Everyone's busy, even though you're meant to be socially isolating. It's okay. There's so many things to watch and play, so I totally get it. So it'll be available as a podcast the next day. So tomorrow morning around 10 o'clock, depending on what time I saunter on out of bed, you'll be able to log on to your favorite podcasting service and listen in. So I'm super excited about that. Tonight, I have not only an incredible friend, but I have someone who is such a powerhouse when it comes to YouTube and videos and even behind the scenes with editing and creating. An amazing girl by the name of Brit Girl. Her real name's Brittany. She won't mind me saying that, hopefully. But she is coming on and we're going to talk about a bunch of things. But I just wanted to come on and say hi, welcome, and I cannot wait for this episode. So let's stop blathering on. I have Brittany waiting in the wings, so give me a moment and we will introduce the amazing Brit Girl. Hello, welcome.
Hello, and darling, flattery will get you everywhere.
I need to flatter you. Come on. So thank you so much for coming on my first episode.
Happy to be here. I think my dog wants to be here as well. He's running downstairs.
Oh, there he is. Hello. Oh my God. I made a bed for my dog because I thought, it'd be so cute to be able to show Cindy. And no, not interested because I had to turn my heater off so the noise wouldn't interfere with the microphone. So she's gone to the heater downstairs. Have fun, Cindy.
I guess it's fair enough. That's Melbourne weather for you. I'm here in Brisbane complaining about the cold, which is not in comparison, but you know, could complain about something.
Just to talk about the weather, because isn't that fun? It's currently 6 degrees, raining, but it feels like 2, and it certainly does feel like 2.
As far as I know, it's currently nighttime. I have no idea what the weather's like. It's nice.
That's what weather apps are for. That's what weather apps are for, Brit. Yeah. All right, so you have your own channel too.
I do. So the whole reason for my channel is really just to create and to learn how to do things that I never would have thought I would need to do. Yeah. It's like you don't know what you need to know until you need to know it, right?
Yeah, definitely.
So that's what my channel is, although it's also full of nerdy goodness. It's called Brit Girl. It's on YouTube. You can also follow me on different socials, Brit Girl AUS. And I talk a lot of pop culture and do trailer reactions. I get into video essays as well. One of my favorites is Death of the Author, which goes alongside my degree, which is creative and professional writing.
Excellent. And we have someone in the chat. Hello, switching to missiles. They say, I'm in a hotel in quarantine in Brizzy. Oh, well, I hope you're holding up okay.
I mean, it's better to be in quarantine in Brisbane than Victoria, which we have just established due to the temperature.
Yeah. Be grateful you're in quarantine in Brizzy.
But at the same time, how crazy is it? Like, I hope the comment got out of this, but how we have to now pay for our own quarantine as well, which is just a difficult situation.
Yeah.
What do you do?
I know. Well, we really hope that you're safe. Switching to missiles. We really hope you're safe. Sore point. Yeah, it definitely is a sore point. But look, we hope you're safe. And thanks for tuning in. I hope you can be entertained by us a little bit.
Hopefully we don't get too wild on the podcast.
Oh, so I don't have beer, but it looks like I'm drinking beer.
It looks like I'm drinking something special, but it's soda water.
Yeah, this is a Saint Ali latte. So I'm not sponsored by them, but they're doing home deliveries with ISO at the moment. And so usually we would go to St. Ali and get like a big breakfast and coffees, and they basically box up the big breakfast and deliver it to your house straight from their van. And there's pictures up on my Instagram, and like it's literally, you just like cook a couple of things, toast some fresh sourdough that they make. They give you fresh eggs, fresh milk, all from their suppliers. 6 of those bottles of beautiful iced coffee. And yeah, amazing. So shout out to St. Ali. You've got me through the last week. Thank you.
Oh, food delivery, man. Guess what I had last night?
What?
McDonald's.
Oh. Wow.
So impressive. Your beautiful long spiel of breakfast. I'm a little jealous.
Oh, no, that's okay. So let's dive right into things. So a lot of our history is obviously we met through NovaStream, which, do you know that's nearly 10 years?
Oh, heck. So it wasn't... No, because it was 2015, wasn't it?
Was it? I thought it was earlier.
I swear. I should change my resume because I've got more experience.
I swear I saw an email from you the other day and I was like, oh my gosh, that's coming up on 10 years.
I remember the first email I sent you. I was applying for the DC TV podcast or review position, writing reviews for Arrow. So shout out to Stephen Amell and Arrow because they got us together.
They did.
It was them.
They brought us together. And we lasted longer than they did.
Oh, dear.
Stephen Amell left the building and we're still here.
We're still here. Yeah. I mean, sometimes comics are stronger than TV. I don't know. I'm sure there's the quote in there somewhere.
I'm sure there is. And look, it's, we were professional.
We were professional.
and then we just, I don't know, I always felt like we were always friends pretty much from the get-go.
Sorry, I see what you mean now. We started as professionals.
Yeah.
And then we were just like, screw that, let's be friends.
It didn't last very long because we're not very professional. No. Just listen to any of the podcasts that we did.
I cut out a fair bit when we did podcasts.
Oh, so Britt used to edit, and we used to have a no swearing rule. And just so you know, this is on mature, so you can swear. If you do swear, it's fine.
Okay.
And yeah, there were times where I was like, oh, this is not gonna, or I would say things and I'd be like, oh, that's getting cut, and my whole point is just gone. Great.
If my rule was if in doubt, cut, because it was
because you just never know, right?
Oh goodness, it took a while because they would be going on for about an hour and a half. So I'd be sitting there listening to the whole thing back, very rarely at double speed because I speak fast. You can't listen to me at double speed; it's too difficult to edit. So those were long days.
They were.
Twitch.
But a big part of our connection is DC Comics, which we both love, and I'm repping this for you today because I didn't have a Batgirl one. Sorry, so
I can't actually see you. What's your shirt?
It's a Wonder Woman hat.
Okay,
you know the one. So Britt is a Batgirl fan, to say the least. So a big part of our connection, I guess, is DC Comics, and the amount of times that we went to Movie World is I can't even count. And we would cover their DC events and things like that, and that was insane. Like, we would literally get to Movie World at like 7 a.m. and be there till like 9, 10 o'clock at night, and then have to go home and do a post-show chat and then a review and then edit it and then post it so it was timely. Do you remember that weekend? That was...
I'm just thinking about the food we ate because the cream egg frappe was really good. And that was from the Village Bean.
Yeah.
So great stuff.
So good.
Then I'm sure you can find this on one of my vlogs if you go back in Brit Girl. Do you remember the vomit jelly bean?
Yes, I do. They one of the stores had those Harry Potter. What are they called?
Bertie Bott's every flavour.
Bertie Bott. That's it. And we thought it'd be fun to kind of do something not DC in this DC saturated video, eating these beans, and Britt got a vomit one, and it was hilarious. Oh, I want to find it.
The thing is that you have to actually taste the flavor to know what you want the jelly bean to taste like. So were they like? I'm sorry for anyone who has a woozy stomach, I guess. Do they have vomit on standby?
To just like make sure it tastes like vomit. Does this taste like vomit?
Apparently, I have a woozy stomach.
Yeah, that was fun. I loved that. Like, as exhausting as that weekend was, I loved it. But yes,
speaking of exhausting, even conventions.
Oh
That's
my gosh!
Another beautiful thing that strengthened our friendship.
Do you know? Like this year, I'm like, yes, I'm going to be able to go to the Melbourne ones. Like I did PAX last year, which was exhausting because I did it by myself, like a stupid person. And then this year, I'm like, you know what? I'm going hell for leather this year. I am just going to go to all of them, and I'm going to go ham. And no, and they're all canned because of COVID. So my best laid plans don't really work out, do they?
Well,
but yeah, we did a
lot.
Found
an interesting way to cover that in some conventions situations.
Yes.
Foreshadowing.
So we're going to jump into some news. So I don't have any fun stingers yet. So sorry. So it's been a huge couple of weeks, and we're just going to talk about some DC news because I think it's probably what we can most comment on appropriately.
Appropriately.
So first piece of news is, in case you don't know, Zack Snyder is releasing his own version of the Justice League. It's going to be coming out on HBO Max next year. Unknown of where we'll get it in Australia, probably Binge. We'll talk about that later. And basically the same weekend as Comic-Con, the fans that campaigned the hardest for the Snyder Cut made their own event called JusticeCon, dedicated to the Justice League. They did it all online. Everything was for charity, all the money, everything. And it was fantastic, can I just say. And we will talk about that more later. But Zack Snyder went on and he gave us some brand new footage of Superman meeting Alfred that we've actually already seen if you have the Blu-ray with the special features. Did you have that? Have you seen that?
I saw some leaked footage online, yes, but I don't have the Blu-ray yet. It's interesting, this age where DVDs are kind of being phased out. So I'm torn between, do I buy it? Do I not? I mean, it's Zack Snyder. You should always buy the DVD because you're going to get an extra half an hour of the film alone. And then there's all the extra stuff. I should buy it.
You should. Yes. So this one, Superman was wearing his black Superman suit. Which was the original idea for his version of Justice League, and Warner Brothers wanted to saturate it with different color. And he was saying, really interestingly, that when he saw a poster for the Justice League, as we'll call it, and he was so disgusted with the color that apparently he went back home and he changed the whole movie to black and white to rid his mind of the image of the poster that he saw because he was that shaken by it. Crazy.
I think that would look really cool.
Yeah, so he's got a black and white cut.
He's such a visual, this sounds like a funny thing to say, but he's such a visual director. Like, there's so much just on the screen. So to make it black and white, I feel like that would highlight the importance of different things within it.
Yeah, definitely. What did you think of the black suit, by the way?
It was hard to tell because it was bad. It
was pretty
footage.
grainy. Hey, it was really grainy.
Yeah.
I thought they'd upload a HD copy, but they haven't yet.
I think there was an opportunity because Henry Cavill already had a mo. They could have had the mullet and the beard with the black Superman suit. There is a missed opportunity.
True.
And maybe going forward they can correct this.
That's true. Harley Quinn. I don't know if you've seen it, the animated show. I think you've only seen the things that I've sent you, where I'm sitting.
The show's amazing.
Sitting on the couch crying because I'm laughing so much, and I'm like, "You have to watch this show." So it's had 2 seasons, and they are on DC Universe, but they're now moving to HBO Max. There is still no release date in Australia, so we're still like, how do we watch this without a VPN? So yeah, it's very interesting how good this show is, and it really captures Harley. I'm not a Harley fan, to be totally honest, but I really enjoy this show, and I've really enjoyed Birds of Prey movie. So interesting that the character itself, but these 2 versions of it I really enjoy. Anyway.
Yeah, I would really look forward to actually seeing this when it is released in Australia, just because it had such Daria vibes in the trailers.
Yes.
I mean, I guess it's Ivy that really had Daria vibes.
Yeah.
But I've seen shorts where a supervillain is battling Wonder Woman and he just drops the C-bomb. And everyone
there's
is
a
just
lot of that.
Yeah, but it's just such a funny thing because superheroes, I mean, they're still dragged down by kind of the campy era a little bit. So there's still kind of like Batman in a suit for every color of the rainbow.
Yeah.
And we need that. We need Batman Brave and the Bold and stuff like that. Absolutely. But it's just so funny because it's so out there. It's so not what you expect to see that sort of language from a cartoon, 2 from a superhero cartoon.
And especially DC, like, I don't know.
Although DC is darker.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
In tone and in...
But I don't think they've ever gone C-bomb darker, right?
Yeah.
And just even, like, I think my favourite part of the show is that Clayface is part of Harley's posse. And he's reimagined, because of his shape-shifting abilities, he's basically a Hollywood actor. And he's gay and camp AF. Like, he's just the way that he'll just become a character, and the pop culture references are just insane. And that one I sent you of him saying Lady Gaga, and now I only say Lady Gaga. Like,
I guess he's one of the little monsters.
Boom. How long were you holding on to that one?
Oh, spur of the moment. I'm just that good.
So, next bit of news, Stargirl Season 1 is coming to binge this month. We watched 2 episodes just to kind of get the vibe, get the feel. It's so different. Again, so different. It's weird that it's on the CW because it's the least CW kind of show for superheroes, if that makes sense.
Are you thinking more along the lines of, is it closer to like Teen Titans or Doom Patrol, or is it something new again?
It's new again. So this, like, it's set, so it centers around a family. So the family are superheroes, but unlike Black Lightning, it's not dark. It's very light. It's very bright. It's very positive, very cheery. The cast is insane. Luke Wilson, Joel McHale, like crazy. And the special effects are crazy. Oh, we have a comment. Hang on. Switching to missiles. Superheroes have become more mainstream entertainment. The audience wants characters to be dark, show weakness, emotion, etc. That's very true.
But I think that kind of goes back to the idea with the comics. And I've been thinking about this a lot lately, because comics come out, I mean, I don't mean to say so often, but they have multiple issues throughout the year. They really do reflect society and the people who live in it. So you look back at like Green Arrow, and they cover things like drug addiction and I think it was just so many things in that one era of Green Arrow where it really reflected the society. And I think that's what people want. And unfortunately, in reflecting society, it does reflect the bad stuff, because that's sometimes what we need to highlight when it's the social issues and we need to bring attention to it. I saw a really beautiful piece, I'm pretty sure of fan art recently, and such a big reflection of social issues right now, where Miles Morales is in the Black Lives Matter protest, and he is having a confrontation with his dad, who is a policeman. So I know I'm jumping into Marvel there, but that fan art was just so beautiful. And then their mother, who is, I think, in a nurse, is caught in the middle of that, where she just wants peace.
Yeah, she's kind of like in the middle. Yeah,
it's a beautiful thing that comics can do, and I think that's forgotten because it's so often, like, so many things from comic books are released throughout the year that they have that opportunity to do that.
True. And I don't know, you know my feelings on this. I love Batman versus Superman, especially the director's cut. And I feel like it really went into that dark weakness, emotion area. I just don't feel like the audience was ready to see that. Think,
yeah, it's
especially with those characters, like especially with Batman and Superman, because we all have these ideas of what these characters should be and are. And for me, I loved it because it just delved into the darker territory, which I personally relate to more, not more than the Avengers, because for me, the Avengers is a different experience. It's more like popcorny. Like I leave happier after watching an Avengers movie, except for Infinity War.
Because that's the thing as well, is that both of these tones for superhero films have a place.
Yeah, like, yeah, definitely.
And it doesn't have to be, and it doesn't have to
one
be
or the other.
Marvel
it can be both.
It can be both.
Yeah, definitely. And that's why, yeah, a lot of people get frustrated when they're like, well, Marvel or DC? I'm like, look, DC has my heart, but I love both, and I genuinely love both. So I'm unapologetic about that. I love both. And the fact that
they are both there as well means that they can challenge each other to bring out something better. Because it's like, okay, if this is what our competition is doing, how can we up the ante? How can we create entertainment that is better for our audience?
Yeah.
So having that competition, I guess, although you can have both, it doesn't matter. But it allows for, that competition allows for better content.
Yeah, definitely. So, yeah, going back to the news, thanks for that, switching to missiles. That was great. So Justice Con did happen. And it was actually more popular than Comic-Con, which is crazy. So JusticeCon was like the top trending tweet for the whole weekend. So the Friday, Saturday, Sunday, whole 3 days of the event. And they had different panels. So they had a panel with Ray Fisher, who plays Cyborg in Justice League. And they had a big one with Zack Snyder where we saw that footage. And they talked to him a lot about what's happening. He didn't really say much apart from everything will be revealed at a DC event happening on the 22nd of August. It's called DC Fandom, and it's happening for 2 days, and there's 2 sections with this as well. And this is what I think is really, really good about this. There's a section where people like us can watch and find out things about movies, TV, games, comics, and also audiobooks. The Sandman is now out on Audible. What?
That's cool.
So I'm definitely going to check that out soon. And then they're also doing a kids DC Fandom. So if you have kids and they're sitting home and they're bored and they're in lockdown, which August 22, they're going to be, they've got a YouTube channel to watch on YouTube Kids. And they're going to do things like give you things to print out for colouring in and go through all of like the different kids stuff that they've got and special things. So it really is an event for everyone. So I'm
Speaking of kids entertainment, sorry, I just wanted to jump right in there.
Go for it, because I'm waffling
recently binged DC Superhero Girls on Netflix. It's on Netflix, the first season for Australia. Of
course she did.
Have you watched it?
No, I haven't, no.
It is brilliant. Like, it's so just flippantly crazy and stupid that children are going to love it. But then it also has these quirky moments for adults. Like, all the superpowered heroes are there trying to stop this lightning bolt. And then Batgirl jumps on the scene with a kite. You know the science experiment? The kite with the key?
Yep.
And that's all she's got. It's just these clever little things in this children's animation. Anyway, if your kids are bored, let them watch that. If you are bored and you're an adult, watch that.
Season 1 on Netflix. Oh, it just makes me think Kite Man in Harley Quinn is amazing. Anyway.
I've heard you say that. Yeah.
Yeah. So is the Condiment King. But anyway, you'll see when you watch it. That's Brittany's favorite.
He's just a reoccurring like you can't even. I'm gonna say like sea-level villain, but it's lower. It's lower. Keep going.
Every time we talk, I find a way to bring in the Condiment King.
Sauce up the conversation.
The fave. So a big part that we watched, not together, separately, was a Amazon panel. And this was, they talked to Deb Snyder, who is Zack Snyder's wife. She's a producer. And I don't think we had any idea of how big her role was in these movies and establishing the DC universe for Warner Brothers. I don't think any of us thought it was this big, right?
Absolutely not. But it's not just that, just the role that she plays in inspiring the next generation of filmmakers.
Yeah, insane.
She aims to open doors and let I think it was high school students to have an experience on her set in all the different departments, which is, yes, let's help each other up in the arts, because it's so often you feel like it's a dog-eat-dog thing, but doesn't have to. Let's help each other out.
Yeah, and it's like I have to, I'm not coming in making coffee for anyone. I'm going to be this. And she, like the way that she framed it is that she like shows the value in being that person who gets someone coffee and gets their dry cleaning. I think it was a specific example that she gave. I love her. I want to know all about her now.
Yeah.
She's amazing.
I feel like she is now on the list of people like throughout history that I just want to sit down and have a cup of coffee with.
Yes.
Because even just hearing the history of how she and Zack Snyder got into this industry, how they came from advertising and promotional work products, and it's the same. She said it's the same kind of idea. You're selling a story. And because they had a process in place for that, it really caught the eye, and they could sell a story and do that elevator pitch really well, and that's what caught Warner Brothers.
Yeah, it's crazy. I'm like, if you do want to watch it, I will link it in our notes, in the show notes, so you can go and watch it, because it's definitely worth the watch. It's a little bit long, and there is a girl with a really annoying cat who didn't mute her microphone. That was frustrating me. But it's well worth the watch, and I'll leave it in the show notes.
Who is a cat? Why not get a dog?
I know, exactly. Dogs are amazing. So that's it for the news. So I guess the big thing that I wanted to talk about with you on here, and I'm probably not going to do a lot of talking with this. I'll probably just ask you questions and guide you through it, if that's okay.
Yeah, sure.
So working in the media space and the social media space. So for you, how long have you been at this for?
Pretty much since I met you. The working with NovaStream was the starting point to actually finding my way into this world. And it's led me to have such a greater understanding of the social media environment than what I feel like my brothers have. Yeah. And I use my brothers as an example because we had such a similar upbringing, quite close in age and stuff. So so I've been doing this for about 5 or 6 years. And that's just making videos, making podcasts, creating digital content like graphic design. But yeah, I'm not going to jump on the rooftop and say, how great am I? I'm not. I'm by no means big.
No, I will do that for you because I know how good you are. But
it's for me at the moment, it is about creating the content, because you will see me disappear from YouTube for ages because I have other things in life that I need to focus on, because I'm not going to lie to myself that, uni or work or family isn't more important.
Yeah. So when people ask you, what do you do? and you tell them, first of all, tell us how you explain what you do, and I guess the reaction that you get.
Well, it is always kind of nerve-wracking because there is a bit of, I guess, not a great view, like public view on trying to find, I guess, some sort of employment through social media or some sort of I guess, funds through social media.
Yeah.
So if like I might just say I'm a YouTuber or something as simple as that, and it catches a little bit of attention, but it's sort of like if you're not up there with some of the hundreds of thousands of followers, if you don't have a play button, there's not much to really be encouraged from that. So for instance, like this is where I sit where I do uni, and they said I won the best background, which is great, which is really lovely, but then it kind of leads to the explanation, oh, I do YouTube. And it's, again, that kind of nerve-wracking thing of, oh, you do YouTube? Or is it cool, tell us more, you do YouTube.
Yeah.
So it's a weird territory to be in.
Yeah.
Did I cover all of those questions?
No, you did.
Good.
I just stupidly took a drink as you were finishing up.
Oh,
professional.
Pick the right time.
And yeah, so what, like, from your family's point of view, and if you're not comfortable, tell me, it's fine. Like, when your family, like, see what you're doing and ask about what you're doing, like, how do they, like, are they supportive? Are they like, what are you doing with your life?
I think my family are supportive. In some cases, I don't think they really care that much. It's just, I guess it's just kind of
they just like don't care. That's all.
It's just like supportive in that they think like what I do is good. I hope. But it can sometimes be a bit difficult when it's sort of like putting too much hope into something. I guess I wonder if you feel this sometimes too, Alistair, where you kind of have an idea and you want to try it, but then the kind of reality does come from your family sometimes, so it's sort of like, don't put all your eggs in this. And that can either be very helpful or also detrimental. But that's something you can really find in a lot of different arts.
Yeah, definitely.
I think it's a difficult career to try and do because, and I think if it's similar to even just trying to become a streamer for games and video games and get a career in that and get sponsored, in that people see it as, people haven't realized the value of technology yet. I mean, people know the value of technology, but they don't understand the value of
like the monetary value.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like when someone says, oh, they're a social media model or they're a Twitch streamer, it's like, yeah, that's a lot of hard work.
Yeah.
Can you imagine trying to create content for a specific time throughout the whole week? Usually you have to spend like a day just simply creating the photo, another day for uploading, creating the right captions to get the right attention, finding sponsors, reaching out to sponsors, and finding a way to not sound like a horrible person to say, hey, can you sponsor me and give me money and I'll promote you on my page? Because even sometimes businesses don't like that yet.
Yeah, that's
true.
Yeah.
It's a very interesting field to be in trying to be polite about a possibly negative perspective that another person might have, and just trying to teach them that there is value in social media. And the people who jumped on it early on, they are laughing right now.
Oh, totally. Oh, hey, puppy. Sorry.
Alfie's back.
Puppy was behind.
I'll start him in social media and he'll beat me.
He can be your little assistant.
He can be my crypto.
Oh, yes.
I'm thinking, side note, if I was skilled at making costumes, I would make him a Witcher costume. But I am not skilled in making costumes.
If anyone's watching and you want to make a costume for Brittany's dog.
Hey, Cosplay Chris.
Hit her up.
Sure, he wants to make another one after all that.
Because he doesn't have enough going on.
Oh, yeah.
So cosplay as well. Good little segue. A lot of times when we went to conventions, it was like covering, like a lot of our focus was on cosplayers, right? It wasn't really at the start, but it kind of like evolved into this, like we would make a cosplay music video, which other people now copyright.
Well, actually, this is the funny thing is I didn't realize that is actually a whole section of YouTube. So we kind of stumbled into it in filming like different people. Georgia Rose was one of the first cosplayers I filmed, and she has gone on to be an amazing friend. But
I miss that woman. She's amazing.
She is great.
Amazing.
I stumbled into this rabbit hole where there are so many cosplay music videos, and that's how I was able to hopefully improve the cosplay music videos every year for NovaStream, because I was looking at what was out there. Zebra something. Sneaky Zebra, that's it. So they do some amazing cosplay videos. They go around to American conventions, and they've got beautiful style and a beautiful kind of a visual to it. And so just trying to take from that. And when I would make these, I would always try to weave in whatever was really highlighted at that time for pop culture and try and put in a story. So, and
I guess
I know his name, Lester, but what was his cosplay handle?
I'm so sorry. Don't kill me, Lester.
I'm
I can't
sorry,
remember.
Lester. But
we love
he
you
has
too.
such an amazing look and such a great cosplay. One day he was in kind of like a semi-casual Aquaman. Man, it could have just been his own casual clothes.
No. He was coming as Jason Momoa from an award ceremony. I'm not from an award. It was like a red carpet thing. I remember because I remember going, oh, I know that look and I know that bag. And he was like, yeah, it's Jason Momoa from. I can't remember the ceremony, but yeah, he's Lester J. Is that it?
Yeah, Lester J. And
amazing.
From there, I'm working with Georgia Rose as well. We were able to not only create a cosplay music video, but try and sandwich it with a bit of a story, because I found that I tried to make that my thing in the cosplay music area, cosplay music video area, where Georgia Rose's Mera was trying to call Aquaman back to his role as king. I just realized that's very much like Lion King. With Nala and Simba.
So pretty much you were copying the Lion King. Disney, hiding. Please don't come after me.
Aquaman is Simba. Come at me.
Wow. I
think I've just derailed the conversation. I'm sorry.
So, look. We spent a lot of time with cosplayers, right? And it extended from the conventions just to like generally, like you did a couple of video shoots and photo shoots with a couple of different ones from memory. There was a really good Wonder Woman one where you went to a fort or something. Do you remember that?
That was Fort Lytton. I've done 2 different cosplay music video, not music video. One was
video showcase.
Yeah, showcase. That's good term. And so I've done Harley and Wonder Woman on the same kind of shoot day, and that's just so the way I work is very much. I mean, I got permissions for that day, absolutely, but it's very much kind of guerrilla style where it's really just me most of the times. Yeah. It's me and the camera, and just let's go. So Georgia Rose again, she was Wonder Woman and Harley Quinn, which was cool. We could get a little bit of a creepy kind of Arkham Asylum vibe there. But then also I did another Gotham Harley Quinn inspired shot with Annalise. I've forgotten her handle. She has some amazing Harley Quinn and Jerome kind of cosplays.
Yes.
She loves Jerome. And it just gave me... it was so much fun on the day. She had so much faith in me, and I'm like, girl, what are you doing? But we came out the other end with something fantastic. She had brought her own special effects person as well, so it could look like she had cut a love heart and Jerome onto her leg.
Wow.
And it was such an amazing experience on that day, because it was being able to work with someone else and do a bit more of a collaborative cosplay video rather than me going, okay, let's do this. And I do try to approach things with storyboards when I have the opportunity. But for example, the Georgia Rose Harley Quinn video, I don't think I had a storyboard. Wonder Woman one I did. Still had to fill in the blanks. But there was another one I did. Sorry, I'll bring it up. Again, Georgia Rose, but also with a.tom _cosplays. So Alex, and I did an Anakin versus Mera Star Wars. So that's probably the one I'm secretly most proud of.
Okay, cool.
Because I did that not too long after I came back from Vietnam, and it was just like, boom, let's go. And Georgia was so on board with it. She brought Alex along. We hit the beach, and everything behind me is park and grass and houses, and everything in front of me is ocean and beach, and just trying to angle it. Lots of storyboarding, lots of teamwork involved between the three of us as well. And that was just such an amazing project to be a part of and for us to work together. I really loved it. And we got a visual effects person on board as well through Georgia, who was just like, yeah, I'll do it for free. He put in the lightsaber sound, glowing eyes, and a Star Destroyer, I think, in the sky in the background. He was like, yeah, I'll do it. Ask him to do the Star Destroyer. It was amazing.
I remember that one now, yes.
Yeah, you can find it on my YouTube channel. I got a bit excited there and covered a few videos. Did you have another question?
No, it's fine. I think the best one that I did was, you didn't come to as the Fraser Pop Festival.
I do remember you doing that one,
yeah,
yes.
And I'm so sorry if I butchered your handle. I'm pretty sure it's Black Widow of IG or Black Widow of Oz. And it was my first solo one where I didn't have you to kind of be the photographer. And I just remember being so nervous. I'm like, oh my God, if I stuff this up, I'm going to look like the biggest idiot. And we didn't really have like a lot to work with because it was like on school grounds. So we're like trying to think like, where can we film you? Oh, my microphone just fell over. Live.
Oh, don't drop me drink.
There's no alcohol in that coffee, I promise. And I remember just going, where can we do this? And it was like one of those old Queensland places where it's up on bricks. So you could actually like walk under a building. So I'm like, oh my God, let's do it here. And I remember like when I first started, she was so patient. And if she was annoyed, she really didn't show it. Because I'm like, okay, try this. And now try that. And look that way, but still look at me. And then look over there. And if I do this, is that okay? Is this too slutty? Do you think, is that bad for you? Like, here's the viewfinder. Is that okay? Is that not okay? Because I won't do it if you don't want to. There's no pressure. You like, this is for you. So you tell me what you want. And I don't know if that's the same for you because you're a female, but for me as a male, I was very aware of how I was angling and shooting and filming and how it could be interpreted.
Absolutely. Again, if in doubt, I tend to either ask or just not use something.
Yeah.
But I feel like from what I've learned over the years, and I've definitely done mistakes, and I've learned later, and I've been like, ooh, okay, yeah, no, do that. There are definitely cosplay rules, and what you were saying just then is, I think, is right on the money. I've never been in a position where I've been in a cosplay and been approached by someone I haven't wanted to be approached by, but I could imagine it's very uncomfortable. And to be able to know that that person respects my choice, how you were saying, like, is this okay? Can I film with you? Is this too much? I think that shows a great respect, not just for the cosplay, but for the person. And I think that's what people sometimes forget when they're on, when they're at conventions, is that these people will go home and they are people. Yeah. They are baristas, they are uni students, they are teachers, they are nurses, they are police officers. And I mean, I was once in a situation where a person tried to take a sneaky shot of a cosplayer, one of my friends, and because it was just like an odd angle. It was predatory.
I think I know who you're talking about.
Yeah. And it's like that's not okay. Yeah. So just being aware, and if you are wanting to go and film cosplays or take photos of cosplays, definitely research online things not to do or things to do, and communication at the end of the day is key. If start off by saying, is this okay? Can I film you? They say no. Thank them for their time and compliment their work and leave it at that. Because I just think at the end of the day, I'm just in awe of their work and the time they put into it.
Yeah. And I think that's what I found before I started doing cosplay with you. I was very hesitant to go up and say, oh, hi, can I take a photo of you? Especially like a lot of the times at cons before you came along, I was on my own, and like a male walking up to a group of females dressed, in cosplay and saying, "Hi, can I film you for my website?" And back then, I don't even think I had cards. So it'd be like, "Oh, like, cool, how do we see this?" And I'm like, "Oh, just search for NovaStream." And looking back, I'm like, that was so, like, if I was in their position, I'd be like, "What? Who are you? Why are you coming on to me?" Like,
And that's an interesting
what?
position as well. I'm glad you've actually brought that up because I've never thought of it from I guess from a guy's perspective, because you would have a genuine
Yeah.
interest of, I want to share
Yeah.
your amazing work. I
Yeah.
want to write
And
about it. Film it.
especially if you're like we are, like we get really like, like really
Yeah, we
excited and
get.
like, "Oh my God, show me everything. Tell me about how
Yeah,
you did this." And
I will see
it's
people I recognize on Instagram and go, "Oh my gosh, I
yeah.
know them. I want to film them." And you have actually said, "No, Brittany, we have somewhere to be. We have to keep moving." I'm just staring at this
Oh my
cosplayer like,
God.
I love
You
you."
you guys have no idea. Like we would be like set up to do an interview or to film with someone, and we're on one side of the convention center, they're on the other side of the convention center, and trying to get Brittany from point A to point B and not stop and talk to 100 different amazing looking cosplayers on the way was like, oh my God, like
Because they're all so
very
amazing.
difficult and very challenging. And it came to the point where I wouldn't even stop and turn around and walk in front of her. I would have to hold her hand and drag her and say,
Come on, Brittany,
"Oh,
let's go.
great to see you. We'll catch up with you later. Come on."
Oh my God, but they're amazing. No, that's
Oh,
fair. I do need to be brought into line
no, it's fine.
sometimes.
We all do. And look, especially at those cons, I think, because, like, if we only go to the two where we lived in Queensland, it's like Gold Coast, Brisbane. Uh, those are the two, unless we venture to Melbourne and Sydney. Which, did you ever come to Melbourne or Sydney with me?
I don't think I
I
have.
can't remember. No, and they're so different. They're so different. They're so different. Because Sydney and Melbourne are so much bigger, and the scale is much bigger. The convention centers are like 4 times the size, and there's people everywhere. I remember the first time that I met Cosplay Chris was in Sydney, and I remember saying, "Cool, I'll just see you in the convention center, and I'll stop and say hi." What a moron! It was so busy, I didn't see him. Oh no, I think I saw the back of him, and I was like, "Chris!" And there was like a million people in between us, and I'm like, we're not meant to meet. And then we met at the Gold Coast one because it's the Gold Coast.
Yeah, it's. I mean, I've seen your. I've heard you talk about it as well, the Sydney and the Melbourne conventions, and just
Yeah.
thinking about it in comparison to like the Gold Coast. I think the Gold Coast is bigger than Brisbane. I have a feeling it's bigger.
Oh, really? In terms, hang on, are we talking like size of the venue or
People.
people?
Maybe it's not venue
Right.
size, maybe or people. Maybe it's a smaller. Is it a smaller like convention center? So people it feels more crowded.
Possibly. But
Okay.
like, I don't know. So for Gold Coast, like you can get a lot of people from Queensland and New South Wales, whereas
Mm.
Brisbane's like the more northy people.
Northern
But
people.
Gold Coast people still go to Brisbane too. So, and Brisbane people would probably still go to Gold Coast. So maybe it's a little of both. Oh, Uncle Chunt. Hello. Hello. Good to see
I haven't
you're
heard that
back.
name in a while.
I know. Good to see you're back at it all, mate. Keep it up. As far as cosplayers, I just go up to them and tell them their costume is awesome and ask for a photo, never been turned away. Who could turn you away, Uncle Chunt? No one. No one. If you are watching and you want to see some really, really good content, especially with gaming and Xbox, follow Uncle Chunt. If you love Transformers, follow Uncle Chunt. He got me onto this. There's a new Transformers show on Netflix, and it's anime.
Autobots
And I
roll
had
out.
no idea, if not for this amazing man. So please give him a like, give him a follow. He also does a gaming podcast called Let's Talk Gaming. So please go and follow them. It's also hosted by Jamie and Dan, who used to be on NovaStream as well many moons ago. So definitely go check them out. They are amazing people. They do such good work. Mwah. Thanks for tuning in. That means so much to me, Chat. Thank you.
We've met a lot of people over the time we've been on Overstream, haven't we?
I know. It's crazy. Crazy. And we got more people this week, and they're off to the movies in Queensland and Sydney, while we can't, while I'm stuck here.
I mean, there's not what's actually screening at the moment for. Is this like a preview?
What did I book today? I booked. Do you remember that book, The Secret? Remember that book? It came out a couple of years ago. It was on Oprah. It was like this big, like, life book called The Secret, and like what was the mentality behind it? If you wish for something, you'll get it. Like, it was really bizarre. But they made a movie about that book. So that's out. That's new. There's a horror movie. Is
that the one with Russell Crowe?
Yes, Unhinged. Anything with Russell Crowe is a horror movie. So yeah, that's called Unhinged, and there's another movie, and I can't remember the name. But yeah, there's like 3 movies, and yeah, she was like, so there's 3 movies. I can go to all 3 if you want. I'm like, sure, go for it.
I mean, the best thing about writing reviews, though, is the fact that you get to see a free movie, and I think that's a great trade-off, because it's like just write up some words to say what you felt about the movie and get a free ticket. It's a pretty good experience. Yeah.
And we're doing free double tickets, so you can take a friend. And I chucked her some popcorn and a choc top because, gotta do it. Gotta do it.
I'm going to ask for a choc top and popcorn next time. Oh my goodness. I quit. I am done.
Sayonara.
That's right. I just smile nicely at the candy man.
Right. And does that work out for you or not? Really?
No, it doesn't. I don't know why.
I'm so
appealing.
There you go. So back to the topic. Wow, that was like the weirdest tangent ever. Thanks, Uncle Chunt. So for you and your choc tops, some things never change. Hey, they never change. Jamie, hey.
Choc tops are never any good. I don't know why I keep buying them.
Do you know what? I can honestly say this, that I've never, ever seen a movie without a choc top. And now it's soda water. It used to be frozen Coke. And then I turned 30. I had to switch to...
It sounds so depressing. And then I turned 30.
Oh,
you're making me scared, man.
You have no idea. Like, everything just goes to your gut. It's gross. Anyway, we'll get into my body image issues later. Off air.
Okay. I'm a bit worried, man.
Crazy. No. I'm fine. I'm good. So, this is like the weirdest derail ever. Thanks, Chunt and Jamie. Choc tops are the shit. They are the shit. They're amazing. And did you know...
Air at the bottom, though. That's my problem.
Did you know in Melbourne, they don't do... So you know how in Queensland, how you can get the double and the triple scoop choc tops?
Oh, yeah.
They don't do that here. It's only single scoop.
Well, they're not really that common.
In Queensland, they were... Is your dog okay? I think her dog's vomiting.
He just kind of hiccuped, coughed or something. I don't know. He had a thing to say about choc tops, apparently. And it was...
I'm all air at the bottom too. Did you know Melbourne has a Mary's? Yes, Jamie, I did. And I went right before this COVID shit started. I went to Mary's and I had a burger and I had fries and I had a beer, and it was almost as good as Sydney. Almost as good. Not as good. But yes, that's amazing. Unfortunately, they're closed because of COVID, so I can't get an amazing burger. But yeah, next time you come to Melbourne, I'll take you. It's so good.
Oh, so I will be going.
So good.
Probably in 2022, but
2022. I don't know when I'm going to be able to leave, but anyway, we'll figure it out. So back to the topic. So for you, I guess, like, what's your next step? I guess because you've been churning out YouTube videos lately. You did a really good one on Assassin's Creed Valhalla.
Yeah, that blew up.
Yeah, didn't it?
And it was put on a compilation video, which was one of the first ones that I'd ever been put on.
What?
You don't get asked or anything. They just take your video and put it there.
Was it
Like,
Ubisoft?
no, it was just a random compilation video, and I think that's where a lot of the views came
Wow.
from.
Okay.
The comments were interesting. No one cared about me, which was fine, but they were either highly positive about one female, or because it was a women's React video, so
Oh, right.
highly
Okay.
positive about this one with like, yeah, she's a shield maiden, or very not positive about another one, where if you actually watch the video, the poor girl got up like in the middle of the night to do this trailer reaction, and I'm like, that is dedication. People are missing the point here. But yeah, apparently my viewers and beyond like gaming trailer reactions.
Yeah. You should totally do more, by the way. Can I just say? Like, I know
And
gaming's like a thing for you. Like, yeah, it's all right.
I think it's this is a I guess a restriction I put on myself, and I do it with comics as well. So I tend to only buy Batgirl and Birds of Prey comics,
Yeah.
or I buy games that really kind of catch my attention. Otherwise, I will spend too much money and I will spend too much time on these things.
Yeah.
So it's kind
Time.
of like a control
Time.
thing for me a lot of the time.
Time.
Because
Jamie. Time on video games. We could do a
so
whole different podcast about that.
but I definitely see the value and just how beautiful video games are. A story came out recently, and I feel like this comes up at least once a year, where people are like, video games are to blame for real world violence, and it's like,
Yeah. Do you know
no,
how old that argument is? Like, we've got
as soon as video games are made.
yeah, like we've got a podcast. I think it would be about 5 years old now. No, longer, about 7 years old. Where I got one of my uni professors from media studies to come on and talk about violence in video games and just how ridiculous it is and give us facts and everything. Anyway, sorry, sidebar.
But it's interesting because like video games at their core are stories,
Yeah.
and that's what I know. I feel like that's just something that, I mean, I studied it. So when you look at stories like comic books, they reflect society and they reflect the good, the bad, and even the things that we need to learn. And you're going to get different things out of a stories depending on your own bias, on your own understanding of that story. So video games have a place because not only are they testing your reaction times and your coordination, which technically you could argue is better than reading a book because of those things. It's testing your strategy as well, depending on the game, your teamwork abilities, your
Yeah.
communication abilities. And so there's so much in video games that you can learn, not just emotionally and mentally, but also physically in doing those things. And my brother once brought up a really interesting topic. It was an assignment in high school, which is interesting. So that's how long ago it was, just calling out how old my brother is, about the desensitization of players.
Yeah.
And it's sort of like, that's the fault of video games. It's like, well, in some situations, people have to be desensitized.
Yeah.
Imagine being
Yeah,
a
definitely.
paramedic and not being able to separate yourself from the situation. How are you meant to help that person if you can't desensitize yourself in that moment? I'm probably saying that word wrong. Desensitize.
Desensitize. Yep, you got it. You good.
I'm not
You good.
saying you can't walk away and feel those emotions, but I
Yeah.
would imagine that in that time, you've got to be like, well, okay, I'm helping you now. So there's so many arguments to be made against the idea that video games are the horrible evil that they're painted to be. And it's just,
True.
I think it's also fear because people don't understand it. And because it
Yeah.
is, it can, and I'm
And
not saying, the other issue is it can be an addiction, which is kind of what I touched on earlier.
Yeah.
And that is a downfall, but that's also aligned with so many other things: coffee, alcohol, cigarettes, sugar, chocolate. So much can be an addiction, and it's not to minimize it, but it's just to point out the fact that video games aren't the evil that they're portrayed to be.
Yeah. Well, from my perspective, like I grew up with video games, and it's something that never left me. Like my brother, we both played video games growing up together, right? And My brother stopped playing video games when he moved out of home. Hasn't really gone back to it. I think when I got a Wii, he like jumped into play, as everyone did when the Wii came out. Wii Sports, woo! And he's never gone back to it and never kind of understood why I still play and play as much as I do. And even if I wasn't doing this, even if I wasn't doing anything like wanting career-wise with gaming, I would still be playing games, even if I wasn't doing any of this. We've got some comments. Hang on.
Oh.
Jamie, I'm playing AC Odyssey at the moment. It's never ending. Ooh. Tell me about it. Still haven't finished it.
I played Origin, and I kind of got so carried away with the side stories that when I got back to the main one, I didn't care anymore because I forgot what was happening.
Like, wait, what?
What's happening? Yeah. I mean, she's cool because she's I've forgotten the wife's name, but I mean, the wife was really cool. I don't care about anyone else. But no, I get that. These games, they're getting so big though. At what point is too big that the customer or the gamers just can't finish it until like the update or anything is released?
Yeah. Well, there's also like you can play it, put it down, and come back to it at a later time, depending on your personality. I don't like doing that. Oh, Chunt, I have 18 games in my Xbox One and PS4 backlog. Why am I like this?
Well, I mean, that's like a book hoarder. You know, the people who just go out and buy books and then bring them home. I mean,
same with DVDs and movies. Like you can buy them, not watch them, and then go, one day, if they're on sale.
One day I'll have the time. There's a Snow White link there.
Jeez, that was a bit obscure, but okay. Oh, the
Disney,
Bizzle.
Man.
The Bizzle. Cheers, mates.
Hey, Jesse.
The only argument for violence in video games is don't let a mentally unstable person play really violent stuff. It's not the game, it's the person. Jamie gets it. That's true. And it really does depend on your personality. And I agree 1,000,000%.
When it comes to mental issues and stuff like that, that is something I guess I wouldn't want to dive into too much because I just don't have an understanding. But it's definitely comes down to how you view yourself. And you can look at media as well. There was such an uproar against 13 Reasons Why, and because like all the content in that, and it was very graphic. But
please don't spoil it. I still haven't seen it.
Okay.
Sorry.
That's all right. I'll dance around the edges. For me, it painted an image of I guess mental issues that made it easier for me to understand.
Yeah.
So in my position, it was good. But for people who were facing those kinds of thoughts of self-destructive behavior, it could be quite damaging to their mental health. So that's just what I had read on social media and stuff. So yeah, it really does. It does come down to the individual. And I guess the people who are around that individual to help them make those correct choices in media. Because I think we do sometimes need to have, again, the stories that reflect the pretty bad stuff that's happening in our world. Because we kind of need to shine a light on it and say, this is what's happening. Are we okay with it? And do you know it's happening?
Oh.
So, yeah.
13 Reasons Why was one season too long. Loved the show, though. Oh, I think I'm going to have to watch it. I thought it was to me, it looked really like teen girly.
No, girly
so
is
I was like, I think I'll leave this to the Gen Zs to watch. But if Chunt's saying it's good and you're saying it's good, then I'll probably love it.
Chapter 1 is very good. It's based on a novel. Second season
Have they removed all the scenes? So I read somewhere that they were removing scenes that were apparently damaging and offensive, etc.
I'm not sure because I haven't gone back and watched it, but I do know that they put warnings at the start and at the end.
Okay, so it's just a warning. That's fine. I can deal with the warning.
And they do have just links to self-help, not self-help, that's not the right term, but links
but like
to
assistance.
Lifeline and stuff.
Yeah.
I think book 1 had a reason to exist. So it addressed book 1, season 1, had a reason to exist. It addressed some really horrible issues. dramatized, and I think that's its downfall. As the seasons went on, these issues were more and more dramatized. So
Right.
instead of having highlighting the reason for being there, instead of highlighting the reason for that story to exist, its reason for existing was the fact that it had an audience and it could get money. That's
what I was going to say. Did they start to milk it like they can do towards the end, and then it goes derailed and you...
The last season, however, has an episode on school shootings. I won't go into too much details about it, but that breaks my heart that there are children who have to deal with that. So that's, again, the whole point of view where someone looking from the outside in helps me understand that situation.
Yeah, yeah.
And it's heartbreaking. Yeah. Again, dramatized, but it helped me understand. Anyway.
Yeah. Sorry, there's more comments. First two seasons are outrageously good. They've edited season 1 to remove the most powerful scenes, which is stupid. Okay. Maybe I'll have to get the DVD, the unedited DVD. That sounds like a good idea. Anyway, wildly off track.
It was good. Created some good discussions.
Yeah. Whoa. So for you, what's next? So you've done this Valhalla reaction video. What's next for you?
Well, it really is spur of the moment for YouTube. I've taken a break from, because I did try and start a bit of a filming business with Brick Girl. Didn't really catch on. So came back from Vietnam after a good break and COVID hit. So what's next for me is actually I'm studying a degree in business marketing. So okay. I'm looking at the other side of things, really stretching my brain because it's very creative and I need it to be analytical. So I'm looking into that. It's taking up a lot of time, which means the videos are going to be on a decline. But I really look forward to filming some cosplay things. I have reached out to Talon Cosplay about filming something, but unfortunately it might be delayed due to some commitments this weekend because, well, we haven't even put a date out there. We just kind of just touched on it. But I mean, I would love to film it. It just also depends on COVID as well. It's kind of just trying to play it safe because I don't know, one, how their extended family, if I film with a cosplayer, how their extended family is situated. Yeah, I don't want to put the individual and their family at risk either. So it's just kind of like playing it by ear, unfortunately, and keeping connected via the socials. But when I can, I look forward to setting up an actual film date to do that. Okay,
cool. Thanks for stepping in there, Uncle Chunt. I have deleted and blocked that person. Couple of interesting comments. Yeah.
Okay.
So that about brings us to the end. So thank you so much for coming on. I really, really appreciate it. Bye, dog. Walking out the door. So if you are watching, where can people find you if they want to follow your stuff?
Well, you can find me at the Brick Girl on YouTube. You can also find me on different socials with Brick Girl AUS. I'm probably the most active on Instagram, but I get some of the, I guess, juicier content out on YouTube. The juicier content.
Definitely check out Brick Girl's Assassin's Creed Valhalla reaction video. It's really, really good. As are all the other videos. But that's just a
flattery will get you everywhere, darling.
Adios, amigos. Thanks, switching to missiles. I hope everything's okay with your ISO. Keep us informed and let us know. And I hope you and your family are safe.
Yes.
All right. Well, that's it. Episode 1 done. Yes. Thanks so much for tuning in. I will be back in 2 weeks from now with a Last of Us 2 spoiler-filled special. Couple of guests in that one, which I'm really excited about. So look out for that. If you want to listen to this, you can tomorrow. Just type in Leithal on your favorite podcasting app and you will find me. And again, thank you so much, Britt, for joining.
Pleasure. Had a great time.
All right. Well, thanks everyone for tuning in. And if you are watching me on Twitch, hey, feel free to follow. And yeah, I'll see you with some more game streams tomorrow night. Bye.